Hi everyone, Natu here again, back with another video, and in this video, we're going to go through what is called the blue sky laws and the importance of them. Yeah, so really in this video, this is just a quick one, but this one is really kind of to highlight something called the blue sky laws for those who are asking, because we get a lot of clients who ask us, what are blue sky laws, what are they, and what do they mean, and all that. So yeah, basically the workflow and the process works like this, right? So because a lot of people are setting up and raising capital for funds, roll-ups, or acquisitions, and a lot of them are new to raising capital, raising a lot of equity, like $10 million equity, and they haven't done it before for a fund or roll-up or acquisition and things like that in the United States or in Canada. Because like lawyers, you know, they help people go through that process. And before people even know what the lawyer is even telling you to do and what they want, it's just to help people understand what's going on. So when people raise capital, there are national. So some people have. So in some people in some countries, like let's say Canada, where I'm currently back in Canada here for a bit, and a lot of the associates are in the States. So the way that we set it up is the Canadian, so Canada just has something, so we have provinces, we don't have states. And in the provinces, the person that regulates the securities, they're called the Canadian Securities Administrators. And then underneath the Canadian Securities Administrators, then we have what is called the Canadian Securities Commissions. They're provincial regulators. But the way that America is set up is America has a federal regulator and they have statewide regulators. So the blue sky laws just show that all blue sky laws are statewide laws that may or may not apply depending on the state. And the way that it works is that you have to do something called file something with the Securities Commission nationally, right? Whenever you offer a security, you have to let them know. And then you may or may not have to let them know based on your states and based on how many people in what states file the securities from. So maybe I should just draw this out to help this be a bit smoother. Yeah, so okay, yeah. So yeah, because for example, there's something called Form D. So there's Form D. Can I just type? And so for example, Form D. So Form D is it's an exempt offering. So it's an exempt offering. So this means that it's exempt from having to do all the stuff a public company has to do. And so when I say this, it doesn't have to do all the so exempt, it doesn't have to do all the things that a public company has to do in disclosure, right? But there has to be some form of disclosure, and so it doesn't have to register. So it's exempt from registration as well. But just because it's exempt from registration, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have to register, if that makes any sense. So it doesn't mean, so just because it's exempt from registering, it doesn't mean that it has to notify the Securities Commission. Because the big guy, so this is in the States, so the big guy, the Securities and Exchange Commission, so the SEC is a federal regulator. And the big guy has to get notified whenever you do an exempt offering, right? Whenever you sell big amounts of equity, you have to notify them. You have to let them know. So you do that, but then before you do that, you also have to check for the from the statewide laws. So you may have to notify blue sky laws. And so this is statewide. All right. And so because, I'm just getting my face out of the way. So because this is statewide, it depends. So for example, so you may or may not have to file with the state. For example, in New York, last time I checked, you don't have to file, but except for real estate. But in California, it's a bit different. They have a different loophole around that. And the reason why a lot of people confuse themselves in this type of work is because some people, they just do real estate or whatever in one, and they're using one exemption in one blue sky law. And they stay stuck in some small statewide exemption or whatever, but they don't look at the national picture. And they don't look at all the possible blue sky laws all across the states, and they don't look at the national regulations. And when you do things like cross states and you think on a national level, there's a higher level of leverage that you can have. And so this is what most people do, right? Who are actually raising $10 million plus in larger transactions. So yeah, the point is, you want to look at, and obviously we have a, let's see if it's still here. But obviously we have a, and see if it's still here. But obviously we have, there's a long list. And I'll pull this up here. Yeah, and there's a long list. You can see here there's a long list of blue sky laws. We help our members go through, and then they get ready to look at all these blue sky laws. And these blue sky laws are critical because it can help you see all the patterns of exemptions that exist, and then you're able to even call the local securities commission and everything for you to be able to know all the possible exemptions that exist. And so just for fun, we're also going to do Canada, and Canada is not as interesting to a lot of people, but we'll just do it for fun. And many countries, Commonwealth countries, work like this as well. So in Canada, Canada, everything's provincial. So everything's provincial. So there's no federal Securities Commission. And then they call it the, we might as well just ignore it, but they call it the Canadian Securities Administrators, right? But then they have, so in Canada, there's no SEC. There's only the province-wide securities regulators. Oops, and I want to move this. I want to figure out how. There we go. Perhaps I can move it like this. That's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing really to draw for Canada, actually. It's just, everything is provincial, basically. And they just skip right to the blue side thing, but there's no blue sky thing. They just have different rules based on the province that the deal is offered in and where the investor resides. And so that's pretty much it at a high level. The point is, you want to understand that. So the point is you want to understand that a lot of people just think about raising capital and syndications of real estate without thinking about the regulatory framework. And if they don't think about that, then they don't know that, maybe you're just using everyone in California, for example, just using one loophole for one type of deal, but they don't think about the national level. Many people, this is really what's missing. And when you understand the national level, then you can really get like how people raise like larger amounts, because then you're able to think not even cross-border, but cross-states, right? And then when you think on the national level, then you can think on the international level, because then it becomes easier to think, there's Canadians who leverage the rules in the national level and then who leverage the rules in the state level. And so when you put all this together, then you can start to understand how the whole mosaic fits together. And I hope that brings some more insight. And so with this, who am I, who are we, and what is this, and what is Raises.com? Well, if you haven't, just hit the like and subscribe if you're seeing this on YouTube. But what Raises.com is, well, a lot of people who are new to all this stuff and who get pushed around, wait in line, call different attorneys, and they don't know what's going on, and they get put on hold on voicemail because they're trying to get accountants and attorneys to help them with everything, and they don't know what's going on. Well, we assist people and help them know what's going on without the needless mistakes, and then they can get the legal sign-off in an efficient and compliant way without them making needless mistakes that we see time and time again. And so if you're somebody who would like to raise $10 million plus, and you're not somebody who's familiar to it, and you want to head and navigate this world, let us know, and we can potentially take it from there. But any comments and inquiries, just ping it below, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.